Hello everyone and welcome back to my Bold and Beautiful 29 YouTube channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Scammer Grace will concentrate on her cover-up since Liam's phenomenon obviously isn't what it seems. Grace introduced her co-worker before the surgery and made sure Bill was wiring the plutocrat, but commodity shady is surely going on then. Grace making gash on Liam's head, but what happened after that? We're laying that nothing happened at all and that Liam no way had a real excrescence to begin with. Maybe Grace has been blackmailed into interdicting cases with brain injuries, persuading them they've an inoperable excrescence and also giving them this miraculous chance to survive. The fact that Liam had an incredibly fat father may have made him an especially good seeker for this fiddle. Grace may have faked the reviews and offered up drug to make Liam suppose his symptoms were worsening ahead of this phenomenon cure. Adhikari actually does and indeed feel like a real croaker. Now that he's been on screen without important to say. Grace is claiming the excrescence is gone and that Liam's a medical phenomenon, but it just feels like perhaps Liam was no way terminally ill at all. Bill is overjoyed over the surgery putatively being a success, so Grace might try to tell herself everybody wins then. Bill would clearly differ if he knew he paid all that plutocrat for no reason. Since Finn and Bridget are questioning why Grace apparently released Liam into Bill's care so soon, they could be on the verge of uncovering Grace's part in this fiddle. Grace presumably felt she had no choice if she was being hovered along with her daughters, but she's still responsible for her choices and will inescapably face counter-reaction when everything blows up. Grace will check to make sure the plutocrat's been transferred and look shamefaced over all the dusk. Although Grace will hope the rest of this plan goes off without a hitch, there are bound to be some snags along the way. Finn will surely do some poking and seek the verity. Bill will take charge and hire specialists to take over Liam care. He doesn't trust Lee and Bridget to find a cure for his son's inoperable brain excrescence. Liam's condition is veritably serious right now. Not only is he battling a brain excrescence, but he took a pellet to the casket to cover Steffi. His croakers hope that he'll make a full recovery, but his condition is far from stable. Bill will decide to fire his croakers and bring in world celebrity specialists to take over Liam's care. When the specialists take over, it wouldn't take long for them to figure out Liam's brain excrescence is nothing but a con. Bill's specialists will run their own tests on Liam. They appreciate the work his croakers put into his care, but they want new reviews to determine if his condition has changed. They're especially interested in seeing if his brain excrescence has grown. The croakers will probably be confused when they do'nt see a mass in his brain. They cannot understand why his headaches and symptoms are adding when they do'nt see any substantiation of a brain excrescence. After they run a battery of tests, they determine that Grace misdiagnosed Liam. They further determine that the drug Grace specified could be the root cause of his dizzy spells, fatigue, and pounding headaches. Bill cannot control his rage when he learns of Grace's incapacity. She trusted her judgment ahead, but to tell Liam he's dying when he wasn't, crosses the line. Bill becomes hung up with chancing out if Grace deliberately made his son sick or if she simply misdiagnosed him. He might have his people look into Grace to determine if she has a reason for her action. Bill's investigator discovers that Grace's conduct are tied to her ex-husband, Reese. That con man is forcing Grace to make his son sick with the poisonous drug blend. Bill will take matters into his own hands, determined to save his son. Steffi may have a 7-word response to discovering living Luna Den. Lee will face her son-in-law's fury sooner or laterly, so let's talk about the showdown that's brewing. Although Lee claims Luna failed in recovery, it's easy to see that's not true. Lee didn't want to watch Luna get locked up again since she's eventually feeling some sympathy over her once trauma. Since Luna had Poppy for a mama, Lee feels like her bastard didn't get the life she merited. There's a sense of defensive fidelity coming from Lee now, like she wants to look after Luna and make up for all the ways Poppy dissatisfied her. Lee will get that chance now that she's presumably whisked Luna off nearly to finish her recovery in peace. Baker was ready to put Luna back in captivity and no way let her out, but he didn't have the occasion since they supposedly faked Luna's death. Since Luna will still be raising on BNB in September, we'll see Luna in hiding at some point. Lee and Luna have further scenes coming over, so she'll be suitable to explain everything to Luna and offer some real support. This is the kind of secret that's bound to blow up in Lee's face. Lee can't keep commodity this huge buried indefinitely, so we should go ahead and suppose about the fallout of her deception. You can go. Steffi's going to unleash her wrath once she realizes Lee prevaricated about Luna's demise. There's really only one way Steffi can reply to that shocking discovery, so she seems poised to offer this 7-word response to Lee. Luna belongs in captivity, not with you. Steffi is sure to flip out over Luna living in Caching and will argue that Lee is putting everyone at threat. This could lead to the showdown of the century. Steffi will demand Luna's arrest in the end. Liam played the idol with a brain excrescence and got shot for his troubles when Luna's gun went off during a struggle, and he got up and shot Luna point blank in the casket anyway. Luna is dead and Liam is fighting for his life while Sheila only has 8 toes. What a mess. Grace is forced to bring Liam back into surgery, but is it due to his pellet crack or his brain excrescence? Liam is in similar terrible shape that it's hard to tell what part of him is falling piecemeal now. Steffi and Hope are beside themselves when Liam takes a turn for the worse. Bill may be in indeed worse shape emotionally than Steffi and Hope. He knows he's veritably important to condemn for what happened. Still, Luna would still be behind bars or, at the veritably least, if it were meant for him. She clearly couldn't have shot his son if Luna were still confined in any way. It's a waiting game as Grace works frenetically to save Liam. She has been determined to keep him alive for as long as possible, but does that mean she may have set up a way to deal with the excrescence? Does Bill now know his son has an excrescence and has been hiding that fact from him for months? That would just make Bill feel indeed more shamefaced if he learns when the symptoms of the excrescence first started to show. It was after that big blow-up he'd with Liam in his living room months ago. Bill can't believe that all of this insanity was passing right under his eye, and he was too eyeless to stop it. As he waits for news on Liam, he may realize that he's too late to say farewell to his son. One Croker. Facing an ethical dilemma, while another character considers an intriguing offer. Brooke has been upset since literacy of Ridge and Taylor's engagement. But she cheers up when Nick visits her, and this time he has an offer. He's tired of seeing her pine down over Ridge and wants to whisk her down. I'm not gonna let you go down this road with Forrester again, he tells Brooke. I want you to fly to Italy with me. The idea schemes Brooke, who might take Nick up on his offer. Bill is still recycling the news about Liam's brain excrescence. He can't stand the study of his son dying and will do anything to help him. Bill discusses Liam's opinion with Grace and asks if there's any stopgap for his son. What if I told you there is, Grace replies. Liam is also shown in the operating room with Grace getting ready to perform surgery. Since the surgery is parlous and unorthodox, Grace will try to keep it a secret. Finn and Bridget might be on to her. You have got to admit this is odd. It is standard protocol, a suspicious Finn tells Bridget. Latterly Grace is in her office, when she receives an announcement of a $1 million bone transfer to her bank account. Still, Grace looks unhappy with the sale. Perhaps Grace is having alternate studies about her deal with Bill to help Liam. However, there'd be dire ramifications if anyone discovers her and Bill's secret.